La vie en rose. Oh, que c'est beau. Cette chanson. Oh yeah. I got these earphones in my helmet. They're killing my head, man. Probably just take them out. Oh, goodness. So, it's a beautiful day. It was 34 degrees this morning when I left. Everybody was horrified that I rode. I wasn't horrified. I loved it. Cold weather riding is my favorite. And now, of course, the northerners are going to come out with, you don't know what cold is. Try minus 58. Yeah. I live in North Carolina. I get as cold as I can get. I think the lowest I've ever ridden in was 9 degrees. And that ain't nothing to sneeze at. Unless you're an Inuit. So, do I have a topic for today? As my head slowly gets squished like a melon. Let's talk about change. Not money change, but change as in things not staying the same. If there's one thing I've learned in my scant 43 times around the sun, it is that change is an integral part, whichever way you want to pronounce it, of life. You cannot exist without change. Your body changes, your thinking changes, your outlook changes, the city that you grew up in changes, the city that you live in currently changes if it's not the city you grew up in. Buildings get torn down or fall down or burn down, and new ones come up in their place. New generations come up and they don't know anything about the stuff that you held near and dear to your heart. So change is something that you have to live with, you have to accept. I'm trying to think of an example from my own life. For example, I was married for a long time, and my relationship went through many changes and survived a lot of them. And I think in the end, what actually caused the relationship to end was change. I changed. I'm not the same person that I was when I was 23, and I think she changed too. We just changed in different ways. Some things maybe she changed that I didn't. Some things maybe I changed that she didn't. But whatever the ultimate result was there, obviously it was because we were incompatible anymore. And there's no hard feelings. There's nothing that says you have to stay together forever. You take that vow, but really, what does it mean? And the vow that I took was, basically, I promise to stay with you as long as you don't suck, and vice versa. So when we both agreed that we sucked, that was it. So that's an example, a personal example of change. And so now my life is very different than it was just a couple of years ago there, because I have a different person I live with, and I have I have a stepson, different dogs entirely, different car, different motorcycle. My job has changed. My role there has been expanded. So there are quite a few changes, I think. And I've weathered them, and some of them were difficult. My father died. That's a huge change. The impact of that change is still with me. I'm still changing. That's about change, you know. That's the beauty of the change. It's always changing. Nothing stays the same. My job. There are things that I have to look out for in the future with my job. Things are changing. Expectations and measurements and the ways we teach. And I think I need to change it up a little. Experiment. Think outside the box. That's what I've learned from my recent endeavors here at my job. I'm going to revamp the way I teach my grammar class. Make it much more creative. See how it goes. It's probably going to bomb the first couple of times I do it, but I'll try to figure it out, hone it, modify it, change it. So there's that. Now, one of the problems of change is that people resist it. They don't like it, and I agree. A lot of changes can be hard to accept. Things that you disagree with for various reasons. Some of them, your disagreements with those changes, some of them might be legitimate and smart disagreements. And other ones might just be that you're resistant to the change. You just don't like it. Like new music. The new music comes out, and some of it's good and some of it sucks. Just like the old music. Some of it was good, some of it sucked. I was a new wave guy. Human League, Spandau Ballet. The early 80s, that was my music, the early 80s. Loved it. Then the middle 80s came and it started getting a little bit cheesy in my opinion, with the hair bands and the neon clothing. And by the late 80s it was all played out. It was nothing but hair bands and nastiness. And the only saving grace, even remotely, was a band that I didn't even like, and I still don't really like, but I'm glad they came along anyway to clean things up. It was Guns N' Roses. And then, of course, Nirvana just cut the cord entirely from the 80s, which is great. So happy about that. And the whole grunge thing happened, and, by the mid-90s, that was all played out, and then we had, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Hey, Michael, That was all played out. We had the Hispanic music scene with Ricky Martin and all them. That played itself out. Then we had 9/11 and things are all messed up. I don't even know. A lot of the music became whiny in my opinion. Closing time. I don't know. Was that even 90s or was it later? But the one I'm thinking of is 15 years in a moment, 19 years, and I'm starting to grow balls, So a lot of that stuff I don't like. And I think, everybody can understand why I don't like it. It wasn't quite as good as I'd hoped. Okay, I gotta continue this later. I'm gonna talk to you later, folks.